Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Racha Kodesh. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, and a sincere Shalom to elect out there teaching this truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Okay, now, this is pretty much going to be a news and prophecy video. Okay, there's a lot going on right now, but I wanted to start with this as far as gold and silver. Okay, today was supposedly, I don't know how true it is, the biggest gold and silver crash in history. Okay, and you see the screenshot right here, posted by Quentin Francois, or whatever his name is. Okay, who would have seen this coming? That's right, who would have seen this coming? Because gold and silver has been on an absolute tear, especially silver the past year. Silver was up 270%, okay, since January 1st, 2025. That's a very high pump, man. That's a very good pump. Okay, but you know, we're living in some serious times, man. You know, a lot of people were saying that this rise in metals was going to be the death of fiat currency. Okay, which is going to eventually die anyway, because they're going to move on to the MOTB system soon. But this just goes to show you, you know, how much control these elites have. Okay, I mean, the scriptures say that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. You know, this devil is in control because this is his system. Okay, this is his system, man, and he's not gonna let you lowly peasants. Okay, he's not gonna let you peasants sit there and buy all this silver and this gold and just become rich, man. No, man, he's gonna see. I've seen this happen many times in the crypto industry, man. You know, they'll create a crash just to get rid of the paper hands. You know, because they don't give a shit. They'll raise it back up again anyway. Just like they're probably gonna raise up gold and silver again. I personally think that you know, again, I'm speaking as a man here, but I personally think that gold and silver is both undervalued right now. Okay, I have a, you know, I mean, I know certain brothers are in finance and all that, and they have different price targets. I think gold could go all the way up to 8 to 10,000. Okay, by the end of the year. That's just my personal, you know, opinion. And I think that silver could hit $200 an ounce, maybe even more. You know, maybe even slightly more, maybe 215, 225, something like that. I believe I heard in a video recently from Apostle Tahar, he said, you know, $250 an ounce. But it just goes to show you, man, that, you know, there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. Okay, these devils, if they want, they'll wipe the fucking wealth out if they want to. Okay, I believe that there was something like $13 trillion worth of liquidations today. Okay, $13 trillion in wealth lost in the metals. Okay, and this is where everybody has been putting, or not, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people have been putting their money into these metals, man, into gold and silver. Okay, and these elites know that, so they said, well, it's time to crash the market. You know, we can't let people build wealth and get too powerful, you know. And eventually, man, even gold and silver, even though it is real money, according to the scriptures, okay, it is actually, let me get that scripture. Proverbs 11:1, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. Okay, and we know that that fiat currency is just a false balance. Okay, money is supposed to be based off of gold and silver. Okay, which these devils, they're not even going to move on to a system based on gold and silver. Okay, once they get rid of fiat, they're just going to do the MOTB system, man. Okay. Actually, let me put this. Let's see what. So I can. So we'll scroll through and see. A lot of these scriptures are talking about idols. Okay, well, some of the reasons why silver was going up so much in price was because the paper market just got flooded, and there was just way more silver, paper silver, than there was actual physical silver. And people didn't want cash; they wanted, physical silver, and the refiners are backed up. Okay, so even if you have like silver bars and all that, which is why I always, told brothers get the silver eagles. That's official currency, right? It's official mint. The bars and that. Yeah, you can get some silver bars, but right now the refiners seem backed up, man. There's also a lot of other reasons why silver was pumping like it was, at least, made it do $120. For one of the reasons why was, actually a few reasons, was China was not hoarding, but, they're limiting exports of silver. And a lot of this new battery technology that's coming out is going to be using silver, okay, as far as these electric cars, okay? And a lot of these phones and shit now use silver components, okay, because of the way the electricity moves through it quickly, okay? So I'm looking for, it's probably in Proverbs. I didn't know that there was this many verses about gold and silver in the scriptures, man. It just goes to show you. Okay? Because it's the original money, man. It's okay. Money is supposed to be based off of gold and silver, man. Anything else is pretty much a false balance. It's not a just weight. Okay, we just read how a just weight is the Lord's delight. Okay. This is Proverbs 16:16. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather to be chosen than silver? Okay. So that's more important than this gold and silver, man. All right, it's to have wisdom. It's to have the covering of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai during these last days, man. Because really, the scriptures say that they're not their gold nor their silver shall deliver them in the day of the Lord. That's not going to get you delivered, man. Okay. Let's go back to this chart. Okay, I know I'm kind of going off on a rant here, but Yeah, gold and silver, man. That's what real money is supposed to be based off of, and it's proven just how fake this fiat currency is, man. But these elites, they crashed this for a reason, and from what I know, okay, this all happened within 60 minutes, within 1 hour, which is approximately the time that it's going to take for the Lord to take down Babylon the Great, man, to destroy it out the face of the earth. Okay, so this just goes to show you, man. This just goes to show you, like the world is a fucked up place, man. The world was a fucked up place, man, under the rulership of these devils, man, because all this wealth can be wiped out in just 60 minutes. And it was all computers. It was all AI trading, man. Okay? You as a trader, or you as an owner of an asset, pretty much, AI can make... This AI shit can make your shit... Can wreck you, man. You're not going to out-trade this AI. You're not going to out-trade these supercomputers, okay? And I'm just saying this as somebody who has experience with trading, man. You're not you're not gonna you're not gonna know when they do it, okay? Everybody always tries to time everything. You're never gonna time it, man. When all the millions of computers go off at once, they all sell at the same fucking time, man. Within seconds of each other, really, and then you get wrecked. You get wrecked. WREKT. You get wrecked. Okay? Look at that. That looks like a fucking crypto crash. It just goes to show you, man, we're in this devil's system. How does something lose trillions of dollars of value in one fucking day, man? How does something, like, look at silver. It says 31.74%. How does something lose 31% of its value in just an hour? Okay? Look at gold. How does something lose 11% of its value in an hour? Okay? Something that is real, like gold and silver. Now, I understand fiat. Well, hey, there's going to be a time when the dollar is going to crash like that in a day. Okay? There's going to be a time when the dollar crashes up like that in a day, man. Because it's laden with thick clay. Let's get that. Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. And this devil has gone all over the world, man, taking the world's resources and that. Okay? Building military bases all over the place. Building this big hegemonic power, okay, known as Babylon the Great, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay, now the time has come where they can know where the hegemonic power is starting to shrink. Okay, and with all this debt ballooning, okay, it's going to cause a crash, because you can create debt over and over and over again if your empire is expanding. Okay? But once people stop using your currency, okay, it all comes crashing down, man. It all comes crashing down. And we're going to see a day when we turn on that news, okay, and we see a crash like that, like we saw with gold and silver today, happen to the US dollar. Okay? And then it's straight on to what? The MOTB system, man. Okay? They're going to move right onto it. Okay? Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long to him and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Oh, okay, right? And that's what these devils have done. They've increased that which is not theirs, man. Okay? They've just pillaged the whole world. All right? I mean, look at what they're doing in Venezuela right now. They already got their oil companies. In fact, today was the day, I believe, that they just took over the damn oil fields over there. American companies, man. You know? And it's not just America that does that. It's all these fucking Edomite nations, man. The British did it. The French did it. The Spanish did it. You know? All them devils are fucking guilty, man. Not just America, okay? All them fucking Edomite nations, the 7 heads and the 10 horns, you know? Them fucking 7 heads, those Edomite led nations, man. Those Edomite empires, they're all fucking guilty of that shit, man. Alright? But that scripture in particular, obviously, is talking about America, Babylon the Great. Alright, let's look up with thick clay. Okay? A batiat, right? Which means weight of pledges or heavy debts. Okay, so this place has been creating these heavy debts, man. It's now what is it? About $40 trillion in debt. You know, there's not enough money in the world to pay this debt off. Okay, and now that the empire is shrinking. Okay, the game is up. So that's one of the main reasons why you saw metals explode in price, because there's no confidence in fiat currency anymore. Okay, there's no confidence in fiat currency anymore. And Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin it's way too fucking slow. Okay, so they're gonna have to pick another cryptocurrency for this new financial system. All right, and I'm pretty sure I know what one it is. You know, I'm not giving out no financial advice. You brothers can do your research yourself. You know, I'm not trying to get this video flagged, because I heard that people will get their videos flagged for shilling a certain cryptocurrency, but you know, a lot of them are in that ISO 20022 standard, which are moving on to the 3 standard. Okay, 20023 standard. Okay, they're moving on to that new standard, man. You know, that new electronic system, man. All right, the MOTB system, man, it's being built. They're all moving on to cryptocurrencies, man. A lot of these banks and institutions, you just don't really hear about it. Okay, and what's been going on with gold and silver is pretty much moving on to this new system, man. You know, people are moving on from this fiat, and eventually, okay, it's going to lead to this CHIP, man. This is Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, and this is why they're moving more towards a digital economy. Okay, we seen during the Novid that, you know, the economy became a lot more digital. A lot of stores closed. People don't go out as much. You know, they relied on streaming services. Okay, things like that. All right, social media became super huge. Okay, so they're moving towards a digital economy, and now with AI taking over, okay, a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs, and okay, they're going to move even more towards a digital economy. Okay, your standard factory worker and computer programmer is going to be replaced with robots and with AI. Okay? But the question is, what are they going to do with these people? Right? Well, they're going to use them to stimulate the economy, to give the reason for the AI and for the robots to exist and to produce those products, right? And those services. Okay? So they're going to have to give them money. Okay? Now, depending on, we don't know exactly what they're going to use, whether it's going to be a CBDC, whether it's going to be an XRP or XLM or whatever. Well, I just gave some cryptos. I just shilled some cryptos, but yeah, we don't know. Maybe there's going to be broken up in tiers. Maybe the dirt poor are going to be using CBDC, and but eventually, once this big UBI experiment gets going, and they have the confidence to where they can move the whole system over, all right, it's going to be put on a CHIP, man. All right? And you're not going to be able to buy or sell without it. They're making steps. They're taking the steps, man. This is why the Lord is not dealing with you bootleg Israelite camps, man. Okay? It is not given unto you to know the mysteries, man. You cannot discern the sign of the times. Okay? You are not measuring the time diligently in itself. Okay? You are not understanding what the Lord is going to bring to this planet Earth, man. Okay? Okay? Because if you fail this test and you receive that MOTB, you're going to be put to death, man. You're going to be caught in that lake of fire, man. Okay? That's why it's important to follow the right teachers. Because if you're in ISUPK or IUIC and they scoff at the CHIP, you think that when it gets introduced that the Lord is going to give you the strength to withstand it, man? No, because you ain't been preparing for it, and you ain't been warning the flock. Okay? Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. And we could see it moving towards this every day, man. We could see it moving towards this system every single day, man. You Israelites, you got your head up your proverbial asses, man. Okay? Save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, and that means Zai stigma. Okay, there's a certain stigma with these devils, man. They like to put 666 everywhere, man, and everything that they do is a fucking trap. Okay, and yeah, you got Israelites that'll say, "Oh, the white man the devil. The white man's the devil." Yeah, anybody could say that. Okay, but do you understand what the wiles of the devil are, man? Are you ignorant? A lot of y'all seem ignorant of Satan's devices, even though the scriptures say that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. Okay, a lot of y'all will say that Esau Edom is the devil. Okay, but at the end of the day, you keep falling for his trickery, man. So you really, what did you learn? What are you preparing your flocks for, man? Okay, because this is serious, man. You don't sit there and you scoff about the MOTB and you make fun of it. You make fun of us for going into the Greek. You make fun of us for being so-called conspiracy theorists. All right? But yet you guys are doing stupid. You guys are doing stupid ass shit. You're having weddings. You're doing all these little debates and these talk shows and these podcasts. Okay, and these magazine interviews. Okay? And you're doing these Hebrew Israelite boot camps. Come on, man. Come on. What the fuck are you guys doing, man? This devil is about to show great wrath. You see what's going on with ICE, man. You see what's going on with ICE. Okay? That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning, man. Alright? Do you see what's going on with the planet Earth, man? That's another thing I wanted to get into, was this fucking weather. Okay? This fucking weather, man. We've had a damn near below zero wind chill for going on 2 weeks now. A majority of the country has. Okay, not just here up north where we kind of expect it. Okay, but it's going on for, what do they say? 150 million people are below freezing temperatures. Well below freezing temperatures, man. Okay, hell is freezing over. That's a sign from the Lord. Okay, that's a sign from the Lord, man. Can you not, can you not discern the signs of the times? That's a sign from the Lord, man. Okay, because actually, let me get that. Isaiah 24. The earth is defiled, man. Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay? The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. And who is that primarily targeting? Okay, I mean, who is primarily targeting the destruction of the earth, defiling of the earth? Esau, Edom. Okay? He's destroying the earth, man. And not just Esau, Edom, but you regular everyday people, man. You know? You gotta have your little convenience society, and a lot of us are a lot of people, they don't respect the earth. Okay? Especially the people that run the earth, who the earth is given into the hands of. Okay? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and they've completely screwed everything up, man. Okay, they've completely screwed everything up, man. They've destroyed the whole earth. And when you see this absolutely insane weather patterns, these giant storms, all these wildfires, these polar vortexes, I mean, polar vortexes have always happened, but this is absolutely crazy, man. Okay, this is a sign of distress from the earth, man. This is the earth giving out a distress signal. Okay, an SOS, like how they used to do the Morse code. Okay, the earth is sending out a clear signal that something is fucking wrong, man. Okay, the earth is sending out a signal that something is fucking wrong, man. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws. Right, they transgress the laws. They create skyscrapers. They create all this pollution. It's polluting industries. They dump all this shit in the oceans. There's more pieces of plastic and styrofoam on the bottom of the ocean floor than there are people on the earth, man. The fishies, the fish got all kinds of fucking plastic in their bloodstream. Some of the animals are turning gay because the water's all fucked up, man. The air's all fucked up. Bees are just dropping out of the air. They're damn near an endangered species. Okay, the animal kingdom is really fucked up, man. The birds are just dropping out of the air. You could barely eat the damn fish because there's so much mercury and pollution in them. This is the earth that we're living in right now. And you got people that are just fucking happy to be here, man. You got people that want this shit to continue on forever. You got Israelites that think that we're going to be stuck here for fucking 50 years, 1,000 years. No, man, the earth is giving out these distress signals for a reason, man. Okay? Because the Lord is letting us know, hey, the earth is letting y'all know. Okay? You don't even have to turn on what's going on in the news as far as people and as far as war and all that, man. No, the earth itself is even letting you know that shit is not right, man. The things are turning upside down, man. Why the scripture? There is a positive in all this, man. The scriptures say that the Lord is gonna what? Destroy him that destroyeth the earth. Okay, it's in I believe Revelation 11. This is Isaiah 29:16. Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Okay? Just like, in the scriptures, it says that the Lord made a vessel into honor and a vessel into dishonor. Okay? For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, he had no understanding. Okay? And well, hey, the scriptures say that what the wicked cannot learn righteousness. Okay, so Esau Edom doesn't understand. He doesn't have the understanding on how to heal the earth, man. That's why he needs to be taken out of rulership. He doesn't have the understanding of the people living and rejoicing, okay, and living a righteous lifestyle, okay, because it is not in him, okay. He has no understanding of it because he is not that piece of clay or that vessel that is made to do that, man. Okay? A vessel of clay, a vessel that is made to do wickedness cannot bring profit to the earth, man. In any form of profit that you could think of, man. Okay? The people cannot live in a righteous society if the wicked are in rulership. The earth cannot flourish if the wicked are in rulership. Okay? But with that, I believe I've, hopefully y'all were edified, man. Alright, but the Lord, actually, let me finish off with this. Second Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. And man, I'll say this: it can't come fast enough, man. We're literally living in a fucking nightmare, man. Okay? In the which the heavens shall pass away. Every day that we're in this fucking queendom, all right, we're living in a damn nightmare. Now, does that mean that we should sit here and wallow in depression and act like we're in a literal prison every day? No, that's not good for your spirit, man. You gotta try and perk your spirit up at the same time, man. Okay? In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Because you don't want to, worry yourself out of the truth or depress yourself out of the truth, man. Okay? So sometimes you got to find the good things, like one of the things that I think of when I try to lift my spirit up is the growth that I see, brothers, okay, go through. There's brothers that I seen can't come in this truth. Okay, they were like teenagers when they came in, and now they're full grown men, man. I've seen camps that, I may not have seen a certain brother for a few years, watch his videos for a few years, and I'll see it come up on my feed, and I'll like try and remember who he was because he looked so different, man. And his countenance is so different, But just focus on the growth on the ministry, man. Focus on the positives. Focus that the Lord is really working in these last days, man. We are gonna get the kingdom. Okay, we are gonna get the kingdom. So that's the positivity in it to bring the balance into your mind, man. Because you can't drown yourself in negativity all the time, man. You know, it's not good for your spirit. Okay? It's not good for your spirit, man. You got to do good unto thyself, you know. One of my releases is hitting hitting the gym nose, man. You know, hitting the weights. Okay? And watching certain things, man. You know, I like to watch educational things on like history and that. You know, and get into the herbs and all that, man. You know, the herbs and nutrition and things like that. Okay, and I'm not saying that you got to be into the same things that I'm into. You know, it's just some examples. Okay. But anyways, 2 Peter 3:10, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay? The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Okay? Because everything's got to be remade new. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Okay? Because the earth has to be cleansed. Okay? The earth has to be made new again, man. Alright? Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. Okay? So in order for there to be righteousness on the planet Earth, and balance in the planet Earth, okay, there has to be a new heaven and a new earth created, man. Which does not sound like a good time for Esau Edom. That's when you gotta pay your fucking tab, man. Okay? The curses that our people are on right now are going to be put onto you. It's going to be put onto you. But till next time, shalom.